All right, so I want to take a closer look at this. And all of us know Josh Kroenke real well. Young, bright guy. I've always said this about Josh Kroenke.
And very likable.
Very likable. People can make jokes and say, well, Josh Kroenke's the son of a billionaire and so on and so forth. This is how I describe Josh Kroenke. He's the type of guy that you could put him in a homeless shelter, seriously, as someone who was homeless, and he would blend right in. And then you can put him at the Denver Country Club.
His teeth are too nice.
That's true. That's true. But you get my point. You could put him at the Denver Country Club,
right.
and he'd blend right in.
He's comfortable.
He's
Chameleon.
a very
In his own
down.
skin.
He's
Yeah.
a very down to earth guy. Now that I've sat at the table, how much of what we are seeing at Pepsi Center rests at his feet?
Well, a lot. I mean, he's the boss. He's the president of these teams. There's no question about it. But a lot of it is, okay, he hired Brian Shaw, and Brian Shaw was a bust. But I have said this over and over, and I wrote this the first day of media day of basketball this season. I go, it's not negative Red Auerbach, whatever. The players stink. The Nuggets players stink. At least the Avalanche have some good players.
Right.
But, I mean, I mentioned this the other day. I was at a game in LA, just at a game on vacation, and I'm watching two teams that are pretty good in each conference, like third, fourth, something like that. One team had Chris Paul, DeAndre Jordan, and Blake Griffin. The other team had Bradley Beal, John Wall, and Gore Tott. I mean, those are three great players in each team that would be the best player on the Nuggets, and those aren't even the best teams in their conference.
Well, and to that point, that's another reason why Josh deserves quite a bit of the blame here.
Right.
He's an owner, but unlike most owners, he knows the game of basketball, and he's very heavily involved in basketball decisions.
Exactly.
So he is in on who should we draft. He is in on who the next head coach should be. He's very, very involved in determining those things. However, I believe, and you can probably speak to this better than me because you were the beat writer at the time. I don't think he was as involved in the decision of whether or not to keep and pay Masai Ujiri as his father was. And the reason I say that is I don't think Stan Kroenke, the way he operates, and we've seen him operate for a long time now, I don't think he values human capital to the point where he's willing to pay for people in the front office, even good people. Yeah. If they had kept Masai Ujiri, I think this team would be in very, very good shape because Masai had a really good plan going forward.
Right.
He spoke to both of us about that plan quite a bit.
And I've talked to him a lot as well.
Yeah, and I think it was Stan's decision not to pay Masai Ujiri. It was a ridiculous amount of money.
Well, that's the thing.
I mean, Toronto gave him an offer he couldn't refuse.
He got player money.
But the Nuggets weren't even going to come close to matching. And I think Stan still has a lot to do with what's going on there. So I think he deserves some blame as well.
Yeah. Okay, let's take this a step further. And this has to do with Josh and maybe even Stan. I don't know how involved Stan really is and what goes on here.
Well, when it comes to this...
Right. I know that he pulls the purse strings. I get that. Yeah. But Stan is the owner of Arsenal, the Rapids, the Nuggets, the Avalanche.
Right.
Now
the Pepsi Center, the Paramount, the Rapids, Dick's Sporting Good Park.
Right.
Okay. And the St. Louis Rams.
And the St. Louis Rams. And now he wants to build a stadium that would be more expensive than a third world country times 10. Yeah. Okay? Are the Kroenkes involved in so many things that they're ignoring what's going on here?
No, that's not fair because...
No, I'm asking. I'm not saying... I'm not making a statement. I'm saying, is that potentially the case?
Possibly, but there's two Kroenkes. I mean, the point is, like, Josh Kroenke's based in Denver, shows up to work at the Pepsi Center every day. You could argue that maybe Josh is involved with too many teams at once.
Okay, then that's where I want to go.
Well, I disagree with that even. Look, they do have a lot of properties that need a lot of management, but good owners hire good people and let them manage.
Right.
They hire good managers and let them manage. So there are ways to manage these things well.
Yeah.
It always ends up ultimately being the responsibility of the person at the top.
Sure.
Maybe they just have to do a better job of hiring better people.